you come to a Hard Rock show and you get a little bit of stand-up comedy from the ring announcer and Jason Weinel. Sometimes, though, you have to make sure it's Jason because he does have a twin brother, but his twin brother has glasses. So I went up to his brother at one of the shows, and he had glasses on. I said, Jason, when did you get glasses? And he was like, who?
Who?
I'm not Jason. Anyway, Faith Hensley making her way out to the red corner. Faith representing Ian Lawler's Adversity Training Center. 0-2 on her career thus far. Had a couple of tough fights, though. Fought Emily Prince out of Knoxville Martial Arts Academy, and then took on Genia Gooden, who is, I believe, 5-1 or 6-1 at this point. So a couple of tough fights for Faith Hensley in her first two outings. One of the things that kind of made me laugh when I talked to Faith leading up, she said she played football when she was 10. She was a lineman because she said if her brother can do it, she can do it as well.
Fighting out of the B2 digital blue corner, Yoko Kowaas.
Yoko Kowaas, 1-2 in her career. Comes from a more traditional martial arts background. Does some Jeet Kune Do, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, trains at Jeet Kune Do Unlimited in Cincinnati. She started out actually boxing. Was her entry into combat sports, but has been sort of a, I guess sort of a Ronin, played pretty much every sport you can think of, and then also was on the University of Cincinnati dance team for a couple of years,
nice.
Back when she was in college as well. And a lot of people always ask about the women fighting. The women typically steal the show more often than not, so let's see if Faith and Yoko can do that tonight.
Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at who knows what, representing ATC from Somerset, Kentucky.
Weinel's running with the weight joke.
Yeah, he is.
Introducing fighting out of the B2 digital blue corner, weighing in, I'm not asking, representing high performance MMA from Cincinnati, Ohio, Yoko Kowaas.
120-pound catch weight bout here is the official weight of record.
We'll say it.
For those wondering. Faith Hensley in the camo with the black top. Yoko Kowaas in the black with the black top. John House is the referee for this fight. Both fighters coming out southpaw here. Nice jab there from Faith Hensley, and she eats a right hand of her own.
Yep.
Faith looking to try to grab the clinch here. And they're up against the cage.
Some good knees in the clinch from Yoko.
Yeah, tough to get a ton of power though off of when your back's on the cage, but I still don't want anybody kneeing me. Crossface there from Yoko. She tries to create some space. Got to keep her hands up here, though.
Yeah, reaching for that.
Another knee there from Kowaas. Faith Hensley just aggressive with this clinch here up against the cage, even though she's taking a couple of shots. Looks like she might be trying to go for the takedown here.
Neither fighter seems too eager to bring this to the ground.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. A lot of fighters will try to fight in this clinch. Faith's corner, though, is telling her to try to change levels and look for that takedown. She hasn't been able to yet, and the reason why is because Yoko has that whizzer on her right arm. For a fighter who wants to stay on their feet, that's the first thing you learn is that whizzer.
Yeah, definitely so. You want to be able to have control on that.
I think that changed, when in MMA, when fighters really started using that changed the sort of dominance of wrestlers a lot.
It did.
And now pretty much everybody, every
That
striker
learning how to
uses
choke them when they shot on you helped out too.
that and the Jose Aldo flying knee, right?
Well, that always works.
Faith Hensley with a nice head position up here up against the cage.
And again, you know, like a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, they're just hugging against the fence. That's grueling right there. If you're standing and trading, at least you have time to reset. You get a break. You can kind of breathe in and out. But right here, there have been nonstop movement and grinding into that fence and constantly throwing knees, whether it's to the thighs, some to the body.
And constantly fighting for position here as well.
Yeah.
You'll see both fighters really trying to get these double underhooks, which Faith Hensley has now. Really easy to kind of control your opponent, really steer them on the cage more. 10 seconds left here in round number 1.
Some good knees in the clinch, for sure.
From both fighters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a ton of high-level action there in the first round, but you got to think maybe Faith probably took that on the judges. She was really seemed to be the aggressor there.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to a lot of clinch work, and you know what looks like it's just kind of hugging against the fence is really not.
Yoko spent a lot of that round with her back on the cage, and you got to think that her corner is telling her if you get in that position, you have to get your back off the cage. And Scott, what does she need to do really to kind of circle out?
Couple different things. I mean, you have an underhook on the one side. You can push that up. On the same side you're doing that with, you're using your leg to shove off the cage. As we always call it, you're throwing a grenade. So when you throw it up over your arm and you're pushing on the same side, you're using the cage to kind of spring you off, and you rotate, and you can turn and come right out. Other way, if she has that whizzer like you were saying earlier, you know, when she gets to a side, fake left, go right, depending on what side you're holding on to. Just rotate your hip back out.
See the corner there of Faith Hensley. Saw Yoko take a couple of deep breaths there before the start of round 2. I mean, that was basically 3 minutes of clinch work, and
yeah,
definitely not easy. I know a lot of guys who show up late when they know what that clinch work is, how you're going to start the class.
Exactly. Comes out, starts it with a nice leg kick. Nice right hand.
Faith immediately now.
Still throwing right hands. Uppercut. Some little right hooks. Oh,
And
she
Faith-
staggered her. She got her with the left and the right. Still catching her.
Faith just moving forward almost like a zombie.
Yeah.
With her arms straight out looking to try to grab a hold of Yoko, and now does have control of that neck, but she took a lot of punishment
Yeah,
in the process.
Ate about half a dozen on the way in.
It looked like she got clipped pretty good there too, and with that one, that right hand. Now Hensley again working the clinch up against the cage, and Kowaas. The one thing that I see from Kowaas is it doesn't seem like she can really decide which way she wants to attack and get herself off of the cage. I think she might know what she needs to do, but she can't just pick one tactic and go with it.
Yeah. She's kind of being forced right now.
But, of course, that's easier said than done with, with someone who is basically leaning all their body weight on you.
Exactly.
She does have that whizzer there on the right arm of Faith Hensley. But Faith doing a good job there of just kind of tucking that elbow in and really kind of eliminating the advantage of the whizzer there.
Some nice punches to the liver. Nice knee to the liver from Yoko. Some good right hands. Hensley keeps leaning over like she wants to level change and grab that ankle for an ankle pick. But the problem is every time she does it, she gets hit in the body and then hit in the face. So
Either
she
that
brings
or
her right back up.
Yeah, I was either thinking that or maybe she was trying to step that right leg through maybe for a hip toss.
Yeah. Problem is with Yoko being right up against the fence, if she goes to do it, she's probably going to get stuck against the fence, and you just kind of
tough to load those hips on that.
You give up your back when you go to do it, and then you're stuck. But right now, if she would just circle her hip out when Hensley gives her that much room on a side, like right there, if she just switched her hips and go to her right, she would come right back.
To Faith Hensley's credit, she's able to keep Yoko.
She is. She's doing a really good job of keeping her against the fence and making her carry her weight and making her do all the work. She's really not doing, aside from grinding her into the fence, she really hasn't done much offensive.
And that's the question that the judges are going to have now. We saw Yoko teeing off there and clipping Faith Hensley a couple of times. Do you, as a judge, Kelly Patrick, score that for Yoko?
Probably because of the damage. It's difficult to quantify the damage from those clinches. Am I wrong?
I agree.
I mean, it doesn't look easy, and I believe it's, there's a lot of weight on you, and you're having to deal with it.
That is, of course, the question of how judges score, how they decide.
What do you think? Who do you think won that round?
I think that the judges maybe give the first round to Hensley based on the fact that, hey, you give her credit for being able to hold her up against the cage for the first round. But the second round, I think the judges might say, okay, show me a little bit more. And to be quite honest with you, I'm surprised that the referee, John House, hasn't decided to step in and separate them as well.
We did see that from John earlier tonight, where he separated a couple fighters in the clinch.
And to be quite honest with you, I'm never a fan of stand-up or separation at any point, because I always say that if you want to be out of a position, that's your job to learn how to get yourself out of that position.
Exactly.
So the pride rules and everything like that, you're not an advocate
right.
of.
And that's the one thing of the fighters the bad positions you can get in a fight, and of course, it's easier said than done, of course.
Sure.
But the basically waiting on the referee to kind of give you back to kind of a neutral position is, it really is kind of tough if you put yourself in a bad position in the first place.
It's going to be an advantage for one fighter or the other.
Right. And then, of course, there's the question of the bad stand-up or the bad separation and it changing the tide of the fight.
Let's see if Yoko can continue and do more of the striking in this round.
Nice leg kick there from Yoko.
She likes to lead that.
2 leg kicks there, and you already see big welts on the thigh of Faith Hensley. Nice knee there, a couple knees to the body. Now Faith Hensley looking for that takedown, but Yoko grabs the neck. And this looks like she has a good position here. Doesn't completely have her hands locked just yet. Now
to go for a guillotine?
Yeah, she's
standing guillotine or drop and pull guard?
She has that.
She's got it pretty deep. I would just keep it there as long as you could.
She can raise that right elbow a little bit more, and it looks like Faith is ready to tap.
I think she's
out.
She may be out.
Nope. The referee stopped it.
Look, Faith is upset that she.
Oh, they're restarting.
What?
Yeah, I think that has to be. I think that's a tough position. The referee putting him right back in the same position.
Nope, it's over.
He stopped the fight. He separated him.
Stopped.
That needs to be the end of it.
Yeah, if you stop, you stop.
It puts the referee, John House, into a difficult position when it appeared that Faith went out.
I couldn't tell. Yeah, we thought that she definitely went limp too. The thing he needs to do is basically feel.
Yeah, you have to.
If there's a question.
Usually, you can grab the hand and check it and see if they reflex. But again, it's.
And you got to be talking to the fighters as well too, and letting them know I'm going to check.
Yeah.
Making sure you're still in this.
Exactly. Give me a thumbs up, things like that.
What we saw was Faith. It looked like she was getting ready to tap.
Yeah. Definitely looked like she was getting ready to tap and then almost started to go a little limp.
In hindsight, she popped right up. That's not what was happening.
Right.
Yeah.
1 minute and 7 seconds of the second round. Your winner, tap out via guillotine choke, Yoko. Kowaas.
and Faith Hensley, and a lot of times the fighter, if you briefly just, for a quick second, if you do go out, you might not even know. You've seen fighters get knocked out, and
Yeah.
they pop back up, and they don't know where they are. They don't know